There's a feeling most people over 60 have been trained to fear. It comes quietly, usually mid-morning or maybe an hour after dinner. A low, gentle pull in the stomach, a slight emptiness, maybe a soft rumble. And the moment it arrives, most people reach for something. Crackers, a handful of nuts, a small snack. Because everything they've ever been told says, never let yourself get too hungry. Eat small meals, keep your blood sugar steady, graze throughout the day. But what if that advice, repeated for decades, printed in pamphlets, handed out at every annual physical, was wrong? Not just slightly off, fundamentally wrong for your body after 60. What if that quiet, gentle hunger you've been suppressing your entire life was actually the most powerful healing signal your body knows how to send? I'm Dr. Alan Miller, and after 18 years helping seniors reclaim their digestive health and metabolic function, I've seen firsthand what happens when these signals go ignored, and what happens when patients finally learn to listen to them. Today, I want to show you the science behind mild hunger, what it actually does inside your cells when you allow it to exist, why it activates systems that no supplement, no medication, and no superfood can replicate, and exactly how to use it safely at your age without risk. By the end of this video, you will understand why your doctor probably never brought this up, how to tell the difference between beneficial mild hunger and the kind that harms you, and a specific simple protocol you can begin this week that could change the trajectory of your health in ways you haven't felt in years. And I need to warn you about something in the middle of this video, because there is one common mistake people over 60 make when they first try this that can actually backfire. I'll make sure you don't make it. Here is the truth that rarely gets explained clearly enough, even in medical offices. Your body is not a machine that needs constant fueling. It is a living, adaptive system that was built over hundreds of thousands of years to cycle between feeding and not feeding. The constant grazing model that became popular in the 1980s and 1990s was based on a reasonable idea. Keep blood sugar stable, prevent overeating. But as the science matured, something uncomfortable emerged. Constant eating never gives your body a chance to repair itself. Think about it this way. Your cells have a built-in housekeeping system. Its job is to find damaged proteins, broken mitochondria, those are your cell's energy generators, misfolded structures, and worn-out cellular components, and break them down for recycling. Scientists call this process autophagy. In plain terms, it means self-eating. And that sounds frightening until you understand what it actually does. It is your body's most sophisticated anti-aging mechanism. The average cardiology or internal medicine appointment is 12 to 15 minutes. There is barely enough time to review blood work and adjust medications, let alone explain the cellular biology of fasting states. This is not your doctor's fault. It is a structural problem in how healthcare is delivered. But it means that millions of people over 60 are missing information that could genuinely change their health. And that is why we are here today. When you eat, your body releases insulin to manage the incoming energy. Insulin is a powerful hormone. It does its job well. But while insulin is elevated, autophagy, that cellular cleanup system, is almost completely switched off. Your cells are in receiving mode, not repair mode. They are storing and building and processing nutrients. There is no time to clean house. Now here is what changes after 60. In younger bodies, the period between meals is often enough to trigger a modest cleanup cycle. But as we age, autophagy slows. The cellular debris accumulates faster. The mitochondria, those energy generators I mentioned, become less efficient. And you start to notice it. Not in a dramatic way at first. It shows up as fatigue that wasn't there before, a fogginess in the morning that takes longer to clear, joint stiffness that outlasts the first hour of the day, energy that fades by 2 in the afternoon, no matter how well you slept. None of these things are inevitable. They are signs that your cellular cleanup system needs a longer window to work. Mild hunger is that window. When insulin levels drop and stay down, not for days, not even for a full day, but simply long enough, a protein called AMPK activates. Think of AMPK as the foreman of your cellular repair crew. It sends the signal, time to clean up, and autophagy begins. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 71 years old when she first came to see me, and she was eating well by every conventional standard. 6 small meals a day, as her previous doctor had suggested. Low fat, plenty of whole grains. She was never hungry. And she was exhausted. Her joints ached every morning. Her digestion was sluggish despite fiber supplements. Her energy was flat from morning to night. Margaret had not given her cells a repair window in years. We made one change. One. We extended the time between her last meal of the day and her first meal the following morning. Nothing dramatic. 13 hours. She was skeptical. She worried about losing muscle. She worried about her blood sugar. We monitored everything carefully. Within 6 weeks, Margaret told me something that still stays with me. She said, "I feel like someone turned the lights back on." Stay with me, because the next mechanism is the one most people have never heard of, and it may be the most important thing I tell you today. Inflammation is a word you have probably heard more times than you can count. But let me give you a picture of what chronic, low-grade inflammation actually looks like inside the body of someone over 60. Imagine a slow, constant fire burning in your tissues. Not a roaring fire. You would know if it were. This is more like embers, barely visible, but always present. And those embers are gradually damaging your blood vessels. They are slowly degrading your joint cartilage. They are generating oxidative stress on your brain cells. They are contributing to insulin resistance, which makes blood sugar control harder, which increases inflammation further, a vicious loop that almost no one ever escapes by adding more food to the equation. When you allow mild hunger to persist, even for 12 to 14 hours, something remarkable happens. A compound called interleukin-6 briefly rises and then drops, and in doing so, it activates powerful anti-inflammatory responses. Your body's natural anti-inflammatory systems turn on, not because of a pill, not because of a supplement, because you stopped feeding long enough for your body to do what it was designed to do. This is the mechanism behind something you may have heard called time-restricted eating. But the conversation usually stops at weight loss. That is not why I am talking about it today. I am talking about it because of what it does to the inflammatory environment inside your body, and why that matters specifically after 60, when inflammation is the common thread running through almost every condition we worry about most. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cognitive decline, arthritis, even certain cancers. I am not saying mild hunger cures any of these. What I am saying, and what the science increasingly supports, is that the window of not eating is a window of healing. And most people over 60 have been accidentally closing that window shut, all day, every day, for years. Here is something that will surprise you. Your brain actually prefers a specific fuel source that it only gains access to during a mild fasting state. When you eat regularly throughout the day, your brain runs almost entirely on glucose, the sugar derived from carbohydrates and other foods. This is fine. It works. But glucose-fueled brain function carries with it something called glucose variability, the small peaks and valleys in blood sugar that follow every meal. And after 60, many people become more sensitive to those swings. The result is that familiar midday mental fog, the difficulty concentrating after lunch, the word that is right on the tip of your tongue but refuses to arrive. When you allow mild hunger to extend, particularly overnight and into the morning, your liver begins converting stored fat into compounds called ketone bodies. Beta-hydroxybutyrate is the most important of them. And the brain does not just tolerate ketones, it functions beautifully on them. Let me tell you about Robert, 68 years old, a retired engineer who had noticed a steady decline in his mental sharpness over the previous 2 years. He had assumed it was simply aging. He came to me after his wife noticed that he was struggling to follow complex conversations. His blood work was largely normal. His MRI showed nothing alarming. What Robert had was a brain that was never getting a clean energy window. We adjusted when he ate, not what he ate. We extended his overnight fast from 8 hours to 13. Within 8 weeks, his wife came to his follow-up appointment and told me she had her husband back. Now, here is the warning I mentioned at the beginning, the one I told you not to miss. If you are over 60 and you take medications, particularly metformin for blood sugar, or any medication for blood pressure, or any blood thinner, do not change your eating window without talking to your doctor first. Some of these medications must be taken with food. Some interact with a fasting state in ways that require monitoring. What I am describing today is powerful, and power in the wrong context is dangerous. Talk to your doctor. Show them this information. Ask about adjusting the timing together. The most common fear I hear from patients over 60 when I raise this topic is, I will lose muscle. This is an understandable fear. Muscle mass does decline with age, a process called sarcopenia. And the conventional advice has been, eat protein regularly throughout the day to minimize that loss. This is not wrong advice, but it has been applied in a way that ignores the other side of the equation. Muscle is not only built during eating, it is maintained during the hormonal environment that mild hunger creates. When you allow a 12 to 14-hour overnight fast, growth hormone, the hormone most responsible for muscle preservation and cellular repair, rises significantly. In one well-established research model, growth hormone levels during a modest fast increased by 2 to 3 times compared to a constant eating pattern. You are not losing muscle by allowing mild hunger. You may be preserving it more effectively than you realize. The key distinction, and this matters, is the difference between mild hunger and prolonged caloric restriction. I am not talking about skipping meals during the day. I am not talking about going to bed with nothing since noon. I am talking about a structured window, eating well during the day, finishing dinner at a reasonable hour, and allowing your body a solid 12 to 14 hours before the first meal of the next day. That is the sweet spot. That is where the healing happens. And now I want to give you exactly how to begin, starting this week. Step 1. Track your current eating window for 3 days. Write down the time of your first bite in the morning and your last bite at night. Do not change anything yet. Just observe. Many people are shocked to discover their eating window is already 14 to 16 hours long, from a small something in the evening all the way to breakfast. Step 2. Set a gentle closing time for eating in the evening. Not a dramatic cutoff, simply a soft boundary. If you currently finish eating around 9 at night, move it to 8. If you are already done by 7, excellent. The goal is 12 to 13 hours between your last bite and your first. Step 3. Do not eat within the first 30 minutes of waking. Let your body continue in its repair state for a short while. Even 30 minutes of intentional morning delay allows the overnight healing cycle to complete more fully. Step 4. When mild hunger appears during the extended window, do not suppress it immediately. Sit with it for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink a glass of water, not a large glass, just about 8 ounces, room temperature. That gentle hunger is not an emergency. It is your cellular repair crew clocking in for work. Step 5. Eat well when you eat. This protocol only works if your eating window contains real nutrition. Adequate protein, especially important after 60. Healthy fats, vegetables. This is not a calorie restriction program. It is a timing program. The quality of what you eat during your window matters just as much as the window itself. Somewhere along the way, we were taught to distrust our body's signals, to treat hunger as a problem to be solved immediately, to equate emptiness with danger. But your body after 60 is not a machine running low on fuel every time the stomach rumbles. It is an extraordinarily intelligent biological system that, given the right conditions, still knows how to heal itself, still knows how to clear out the damage, still knows how to sharpen the brain, quiet the inflammation, and restore the energy that time has been quietly stealing. The window for all of that is mild hunger, and you have had access to it all along. If you found this video helpful, I want to ask you something specific before you go. What is your current eating window, and did you realize it was as wide as it is? Drop your answer in the comments below. Whether it is 12 hours, 16 hours, or you honestly have no idea yet, I read these, and your experience helps me shape the content I bring to you every week. If you have a parent, a sibling, or a close friend over 60 who has been struggling with fatigue, brain fog, or stubborn inflammation, please share this video with them. Not because I am asking you to promote a channel, but because this information deserves to reach the people who need it, and that decision is yours to make. And if this topic opens something for you, if it made you ask how the food itself, not just the timing, can be working for you or quietly against you, then next week's video is going to matter to you. We are going to look at specific foods that silently accelerate that low-grade inflammation we talked about today. Some of them are considered healthy. Some of them are probably in your refrigerator right now. I'll see you there.